A special shout out to the big patrons of the month, including the Nerd Therapist and Dan the MiniGolf Wizard. Thanks, heroes.
Hey, Pokemon Masters, Berkey Toby here, and Pokemon Masters, the new game coming out for mobile, not my catchphrase, has grown in my estimations quite dramatically actually since reveal. When I first saw this, I saw the title, I saw the artwork, and I thought, this is cool. It's like a mainstream Pokemon game, and it's going to be on the mobile. That's awesome. And then something about the gameplay, the first look, I was like, ooh, I'm not so sure. And then they reeled me back in with that second trailer. The one that revealed the fact that it seems that they're going to have every Pokemon trainer from the series of Pokemon in Pokemon Masters. And you might be like, well, surely not every trainer, but I'm thinking yes, from the games at least. If there is a named or relevant trainer, it could appear in this series, and I don't think people realize quite the scope of that. For example, I'm pretty sure we've seen a gym leader from pretty much every generation. We've seen trial captains from every generation, and kahunas and Elite Four members. And if they're going to have one, like, let's say they're going to have Brock, it doesn't make sense to not have all the gym leaders of Kanto, for example. So, with that in mind, that is a lot of characters. In fact, I reckon there's at least 250 characters that could be in this game. We always talk about Pokemon characters, and we talk about the Pokemon, we find them as the point of interest, but we never think about, the people. And then this game seems to be about collecting and assembling a perfect team of the trainers that you want to travel alongside. I love this idea. It's somehow original and yet feels right for the core of Pokemon. I'm excited about these games. And heads up, I might actually even be doing a little bit of gameplay, but I will get onto that in the future. There's something big that could happen with that, but for now, I just want to go through, and I've written down basically the names of pretty much every Pokemon trainer possible. Because here's the thing, we know that the game is 3 versus 3, so it would make sense to take every character and try and establish like a Sonic Heroes type, like this is team this is team this. Problem is, that is really hard. There are a lot of characters here that maybe make sense with one other character. Let's take, for example, Iris and Drayden. They are 2 characters that in the lore of Pokemon are related. But then, who's the third character that you put in? Do you put in Claire, who's another Dragon Master? Or do you put in Claire with Lance? Because they're both, related. Maybe Zinnia, she's a Dragon X. So this is a lot of characters there, right? How do you assemble that into correct teams of 3? So I want to go through and talk about everyone who I think is going to be in this game. And I just want to get a feel for, what some of the possible combos are. And what you think some of the combos might be of teams of 3 in the comments. Nearly said the description, I keep on doing that. Also, while you're there, let me know which 2 characters would you most like to have on your team. Okay, so starting off, let's start with gym leaders, or type specialists rather. I guess we kind of already started with dragons, so let's just start there. So we've already mentioned the dragon experts, Lance and Claire, as well as Drayden and Iris, and any of those could kind of combo in any weird way. There is also Zinnia, who, while not a gym leader, is a very prominent character in Oras. I could see her being in this game. There is the Generation 3 and 6 Elite Four members, Drake and Drasna. Drasna theorized to come from the same town as Cynthia, but Cynthia is more of a champion. She is definitely in the game, but I don't know if she would be on a team with Drasna. Maybe she would. And we also have the characters of Ryuki and Benga. These are less likely characters to appear, but I think it's totally possible that they would. Now, looking at Steel-type trainers, we've got Jasmine and Steven Stone. Byron, the Generation 4 gym leader, who would almost definitely be on the same team as Rourke, who is a rock gym leader. We'll get to them. There's Wickstrom, the knight from the Elite Four in Generation 6, and Molayne, is that how you pronounce his name? But again, he's probably closer linked to Sophocles. But again, it's who's the third member on that team? There is actually only 3 fairy-type specialists. Mina, Valerie, and Diantha, if you count her, and that makes sense because fairy's only been around for 2 generations. And by the way, this is not including any of the Pokemon that have, the original characters for this game, or any characters that are appearing in Sword and Shield, because we don't know all of them yet, but they are very likely to make appearances in this game. With normal, you've got Norman, who's likely to team up with one of his kids from Little Root Town. Whitney, Lenora, Charon, who is also a rival, so maybe we'll go into the rival category. And Ilmia, who is very closely linked to Mina within the lore of the games. With flying, you've got Volkner, and then a trio of flying-type ladies. Winona, Skylar, and Kahili? Am I pronouncing her name right? Perhaps they are a team in Pokemon Masters? With Rock, obviously, you've got Brock, you've got Roxanne, you have Rourke, who we mentioned before. Grant, who is married to Viola, so they would probably be on a team, but she's a bug gym leader, so we'll talk about her in a moment. And Olivia, another rock-type specialist. Grass has Erica, Gardenia, Ramos, and Mallow. Don't really know how any of those combo together. Fire specialists are very much the same. We've got Blaine, Flint, and Flannery. And again, I don't really know how they combine, but there's 3 of them, so maybe that's a team. Team Fire! There are a lot of water leaders, blimey. We have Misty, Wallace and Juan, who would definitely be on a team together. Crash Awake, who we've seen in a trailer, is with like an ice type. He's teamed up with Wolfric. So we know for a fact that they are going to cross type, but I'm just doing this by type because I think it's easier. Marlon, Seabold, and Lana, and I think there's a relationship between Lana and Marlon as well. With Electric, you've got Lieutenant Surge, Watson, Volkner, Elisa, Clement, and Sophocles, and I could very easily see Sophocles, Clement, and Watson on a team because they're all just kind of like little gadget nerds. Oh, I should probably mention multi-type. You've got Chili, Silent, and Cress. They're obviously a team. I think we've even seen that in the trailer. Poison, Koga, and Janine. They've got to be on a team together. And then Roxy, although I don't know if Roxy really fits the ninja aesthetic. With fighting, you've got Bruno, Chuck, Brawley, Malene, Marshall, Karina, and Hala, who would probably be on the same team as Hal, because that's his grandson. With ground, there is just 3. You've got Bertha, Clay, and Hapu. With ice, you've got Price, Lorelei, Glacier, Bryson, Candice, and Wolfric. And again, we know that Wolfric is confirmed for a team with Crash Awake. I guess that makes sense because they're both big muscly dudes, I guess. With Dark, there are only 4. There's Karen, Nanu, Grimsley, and Sydney of the Elite Four. Psychic has Lucian and Sabrina, Tate and Liza, who could combo very easily with Olympia because they all share very similar themings. And Caitlyn of the Elite Four form a Battle Frontier Brain. And oh yes, there's Battle Frontier Brains in the game. We will get to that. With Bug, you've got Bugsy, Burr, Aaron, and Viola, who again, Viola could team up with Grant, leaving the other 3 Bug leaders to form a team in Pokemon Masters. With Ghost, you've got Agatha and Morty, Phoebe, Chantal, and Acerola, or Acerola, I don't know how to pronounce her name, I never have. Those 3 could combo together as like Ghost Girls, I don't know. Oh, and Fantina, who is another Ghost Girl, although we see her in the trailer teamed up with Sabrina and Elisa, I guess because they're all like models maybe, although I didn't know Sabrina was a model. And that is all of the gym leaders. I'm going to put this pen down before I poke someone's eye out. As I've mentioned before, we've also seen Frontier Brains in these trailers, so we could get any combination of Caitlyn, as I mentioned earlier, Noland, Greta, Tucker, Lucy, Spencer, Brandon, or Annabelle, that's all of the Emerald ones, Palmer, Thornton, Daria, Derek, and Argenta, I guess that's the name. Those are all of the Hot Gold, Soul Silver, and Platinum Frontier Brains. And on top of that, you got Ingo and Emmett from Generation 5, who, while not Battle Frontier Brains, so to speak, are the same kind of boss. And the 4 ladies whose names I'm not going to pretend that I know from the Battle Chateau. A couple of other kind of misc characters that we might see in it, just like Zinnia. We could see Usween from Generation 2's Pokemon Crystal or Hot Gold and Soul Silver. We could see AZ. We could see Youngster Joey and his Rattata, or Youngster Tristan, who appears in the title defense. He likes shorts, they're comfy and easy to wear. And there's the Pokemon Professor, of which we've just seen the new one announced. Like, for this game specifically, there's also Professor Magnolia from the latest generation, but as I say, we're not covering those. So we have Oak, Elm, Birch, Rowan, Juniper, Sycamore. We've got Kukui, Kukui's wife, Burnett, who's also from the Dream Radar game, and another Professor, Samson Oak, which if they've got Samuel Oak, if they've got Professor Oak, why not have Samson Oak, you know? Okay, so thus far I'm feeling like all the characters I've mentioned are pretty likely, but it's not just gym leaders and trial captains and Elite Four members and champions, who, by the way, we missed a couple champions here. Red, Blue, Green, Alder, Cynthia. These are some of the real big shots, and if Red, Blue, and Green don't team up, I mean, it's gotta happen, right? But it's not just them, it's also the player characters. I mean, Red actually is a player character, but it's also the player characters and the rivals, of which there is Gold/Ethan, depending on what you want to call him. There is Brendan and May from Generation 3. Generation 4's Dawn and Lucas, and hang on, I forgot one in Generation 2. Chris. They have confirmed that Chris is going to be in the game, and Chris is a different character to Lila, so that's like just cool, that's another character. There's Hilbert and Hilda and Rosa and Nate. I hope I pronounced them all right. Serena and Clemon and Celio and Celine. Sorry, not Celio, Elio is their name. I don't know the Sun and Moon Trainers' names. Chase and is it Elaine from Let's Go? And then of course you've got the rivals. You've got Silver, Barry, Hugh, Bianca, Trace, Wally, Shauna, Turnio, the other one, Trevor. Yeah, because we all remember Trevor. And of course, as I mentioned before, how these characters are going to combo together, I have no idea. Maybe like Brendan, May, and Wally representing Hoenn. I don't know. Oh, and we've already seen confirmation that Team Rocket's in the game, so we have evil teams. Team Rocket has obviously Giovanni, as well as Petrol and Archer and Ariana and Proton. And also, like, Jesse James and Meowth, which if they are not a team in this, I'm gonna, like, facepalm. They are the perfect trio in Pokemon, and they have appeared in the games. You've got Team Aqua's Archie, Shelly, and Matt, as well as Team Magma's, is it Maxie, Tabitha, and Courtney? Team Galactic has Cyrus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and of course Charon from Platinum. With Team Plasma, you could very easily have N, Colress, and Ghetsis as a team, which would be pretty terrifying, or maybe the Shadow Triad. Team Skull just has Guzma and Plumeria. I guess Gladian's kind of Team Skull, but we've already seen that Gladian's going to be on the Team Aether team, which has Luzimi, Lily, and Gladion, which makes sense. But of course, there's also Faber and Wiki. And side note, I don't know if they'll include them, but there's the Ultra Recon Squad as well, which is all those 4 characters with their weird names. Dulcie, Zozzy, Psycho, and Solaria. Now, personally, based on everything we've seen in the trailers, I think all of those characters appearing is really reasonable, but there's still some more side characters that I think are possible. For example, the Generation 4 like companion characters. Cheryl, Riley, and Buck are the main ones, but there's also Marley and Myra. I think they're all possible characters that could return. As well as, and I'm not going to be able to remember these, so I'm just going to look through the list. I got a whole list of characters here that are possible extras, but we can get the Battle Frontiers. Scott, Looker, there's Emma from the post story of X and Y. Dr. Fennel, maybe the 7 Sages from Team Plasma. Or there's the 2 weird girls that grew up with then, Athenia and Concordia. Bill, or any of his associates from the other regions. I've got written here Mr. Briny. But that, Mr. Briny and Wingle could show up. Oh, I'll tell you what, who could go in with Wallace and Juan could be, is it Liza, who is the Pokemon coordinator from Oras? There's also the guy who does the secret bases in Oras. There's Mr. Fuji, Mr. Pokemon, and of course, how can we forget Pokemon's very own Birdkeeper Toby? This character's gotta be in the game. And that's just the main series. I'm still very hopeful that Mirror B is going to show up with maybe like Wes or Michael or Goznap. That series of Colosseum and XD Gale Darkness alone at least have, what, like 6 admins and 3 evil team leaders. There's, if you did other side series, there's at least 6 main Pokemon Rangers. Obviously, we're all super familiar with the main one, the main girl. You know who I'm on about. And that is without even considering the anime or the manga. I know the manga has Yellow or Emerald. I don't know how they would combine into it. If we went for the anime, here are my likely list of characters. Ash, Professor Ivy, Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny, Sorrel or Verity from the 20th movie, there's Tracy, there's Paul, there's the Orange Island gym leaders, there's Trip, there's Harrison, of course, there's Todd Snap. Which, by the way, when they're done with the Detective Pikachu movie and they want to do a Pokemon Snap live-action movie, can I play that character? I want to play Todd Snap. Oh, and that reminds me, there is actually official Ken Sugimori art of Tim Goodman, Lucy Stevens, and Lieutenant Yoshida. They are all characters that have Ken Sugimori art, so they're possible too. And they could make for a team in Pokemon Masters. But all of those Pokemon Masters, over 250 characters in the world of Pokemon. It is a super rich lore. All of them don't even include the original characters that they're creating for this. But by the way, the reason I think so many of these characters are coming back is, again, if they include one gym leader or one trainer, they should really include all of them. And also, they put Chris from Pokemon Crystal was the last game this character was in. This is the whole reason I wanted to make this video. They put Chris in here, they're going to put some weird, obscure characters in there. All of that, not even including the characters that will come out in Sword and Shield. So, what teams, what combos, like Sonic Hero style, like I said at the beginning, combos of 3 do you think would really go well together? I feel like there's a lot of 2s that go together, maybe not so many 3s. Could you somehow put all of these characters into sets of 3? And also, what 2 trainers would you like to travel around with in Pokemon Masters? Anyway, it's been a long video, and yeah, Pokemon Masters, I'm interested. Maybe I'm going to do more videos on that in the future. So hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon Master.